band was formed because we wanted to commemorate the service and sacrifice made by professional footballers in the Great War. They joined up into a Pals Battalion, which was called the 17th Middlesex. In fact, our cap badge is the badge of the Middlesex Regiment in the Great War. And bringing that closer to home, the football club with the most players and officials and supporters that joined up was from Leyton Orient, or Clapton Orient as the club was called at the time. And it's a fantastic weekend for the O's, because as you probably know, they won promotion yesterday back into the Football League after some real tough times. So we're really excited about this. Even those of us that are not O's fans can appreciate what we've been going through in recent times. So it's great for the borough, it's great for the community. We like to think we're doing our bit for the local community as well. We're based in Highams Park, we are your band. There's no other band that is based in Highams Park. We're very proud. So the music we'll be playing shortly, most of which was written and composed around the time of the Great War, some of which was performed by the Boys Brigade, and several of the marches, I dare say, would have been played by the military as well. So we're taking you back in time, literally. So you close your eyes, you can probably imagine all the flags waving and the lads going off to war in their khaki, getting onto the train station at Highams Park and so on and so on. Yeah? This year, when our band has got so many events going on, we're performing here today. We're also performing in the hall at the Highams Park Baptist Church on the 10th of May for the Boys Brigade annual display. So we'll be there that Friday evening. We're then performing at Liverpool Street Station on D-Day, the 6th of June in the evening, approximately 6:30, and that, as it implies, will commemorate D-Day, the Allied invasion of France to vanquish the countries from the Germans and get France back to a bit of normality. Later in June, we're actually going to France to perform, parade and tour the Normandy beaches. We're very proud to do that. The band has already performed on the Somme on 2 tours, and also at Ypres, where we took part in the world famous Menin Gate last post ceremony. Buglers performed at the Menin Gate, and we're so fortunate and so proud to have taken part in these events. And it continues this year. To say we'll be performing at some very high profile places in Normandy, including Omaha. It's called bloody Omaha because it was literally, as the waves come up on the beach, the sea was red. So it just shows you what these lads went through. Following our tour of Normandy, we're then going to be performing at the Royal Hospital Chelsea, and that'll be in July. That's a return visit following their inaugural performance here last year. And that again is a recognition of what we represent, who we represent, and we're so proud to do this. And then we've also been invited to take part in what's called the Costermongers Harvest Festival parade in the City of London at the Guildhall. That's in October. And all this, we do to commemorate the lads that served in the Great War and obviously active service since. And we also represent Highams Park, so thank you for your attention. As I mentioned, we are commemorating D-Day this year, so our buglers are going to perform in public for the very first time Taps. It's the American version of the Valley, yeah? And that's played at all the memorial services that involve servicemen and women in the United States of America. So, upon the command when I ask the buglers to play, if you could just stand in your places just for that, I think it's important. And it's everyone's minds focused on the D-Day campaign and what it did, not just for the future of France, but the whole world. Because it literally pushed the Germans back from earlier years when they was on our doorsteps. Ladies and gentlemen, the 17th Pals Battalion Band, thank you.
Band, what it is? Attention! Buglers, ready! Up to... easy.
Goes back many years with the Boys Brigade. The next two marches, we're going to play, one of which is a BB1 called Bridlington, and then we go into a march called Ypres, but as the name implies, it was composed to commemorate the Battle of Ypres in the First World War, and would have been played by the army over in France and Belgium towards the end of the First World War, because that march would have been out there. And yeah, it's important to us that we play that today. Out of interest, you're probably wondering why we got the bugles and not all the trombones, trumpets and all sorts of things you see in a brass band. That's quite often seen on the television and films about armies marching up and down the streets. But those instruments are quite hard to play. Not only have you got to be able to play them physically, you've got to be able to read music. Okay, we have to read music. It's a lot simpler playing a bugle. Bugle's only got 5 notes. We often get asked, well, can you play this, can you play that? Some real intricate stuff. We say, no, we've only got 5 official notes we can play. Some buglers can play 7, one really low maybe, and one higher above, top C, etc. So I just wanted to let you know that at the time of the First World War, bugles were very much involved as communication on the battlefield. There was no walkie-talkies or mobile phones and all sorts of things like that. They used bugle calls to give the commands. Attack, retreat, first aid, dinner call, last post, as you all know, revalia to get up in the mornings. Yeah? So bugle was an intricate part of the military, going back hundreds of years. Into the 17th century, in fact, going way back, just before, just after the Civil War. So when it comes to the lads joining up, most of which didn't have a high level of education, they would have come, a lot of them straight from school. A few would have come certainly from the colleges, universities, but the majority of lads from those institutions would have been snapped up as officers. Because it was felt at the time that those that had a high academic background would be better prepared for what was required of the soldiers in the front line. So it came about when you joined up into the Army or the Navy or the Royal Flying Corps as known at the time, the first thing you did, apart from being in a uniform, was you handed a bugle. Because if you could play a bugle, you were someone special when you were on the battlefield. You was often protected as well, slightly behind the other lads, because you was the one giving out the commands. Because the majors and generals couldn't shout across the field, they couldn't phone up. It was left to the bugles to get things put in place. If you see the film Waterloo, you hear the bugles in the background during the Battle of Waterloo, very much involved. Without a bugle, the Battle of Waterloo would not have been won. And that close to us losing it anyway when Napoleon was on the attack. So they would have been given a bugle. If you could play, you was put to one side and you had more money as well. That was more important to the soldiers as far as they was concerned. So here we go, Bridlington, a fishing town up on the north, and then Ypres. Yeah, thank you very much.
Band, attention, drummers ready. 2 drum solos and repeats at the halt, followed by Bridlington, 2 3s and Ypres. 1, 2! two.